A new patch was released today, about 3 hours ago, to Helldivers 2, and here's basically what it is. This update focuses on smoother gameplay, better balance, and more consistency across weapons and stratagems. All primaries, sidearms, throwables, and stratagems have been tuned to hit harder and feel more distinct. SMGs and pistols are now true close-quarters beasts with higher short-range damage, but shorter fall-off at distance. Melee weapons and grenades have been reworked to feel more powerful and unique. Stratagems like the flamethrower, autocannon, and rail cannon got buffed too, explode more damage, more ammo, and faster cooldowns. Enemies have also been tweaked for better balance. Light and medium armor weapons are now more effective against common enemies. Dragon Roach spawn rates have been reduced, Hive Lord fights are smoother, and the automatons have smarter AI. Some enemies are a little tougher against fire, but most now have clearer weak points or adjusted durability. A huge number of bugs and crashes are gone, from broken stratagems and mission issues to crash loops and physics bugs. Performance has been improved across the board, better physics, smoother AI, less stuttering, and faster drop-in. Even visuals got some love, improved lighting, snow effects, explosions, and asset optimization. Now, about that 150GB install size on PC. Here's what's happening. The PC version duplicates a lot of data to speed up loading on old mechanical hard drive. It's an old optimization trick that isn't really needed for solid state drives anymore, but it keeps load times fast for players still using hard drives. The team's working hard to reduce that size. Short term, removing unused assets. Medium term, merging duplicated files into common asset bundles. Long term, improving the engine and exploring compression. They're trying to shrink the install without making load times worse, especially for players with slower drives. The main takeaway? Smoother gameplay, better weapon balance, fewer bugs, faster performance, and a plan to tackle that giant PC install size. This patch is a huge step forward for a cleaner, more polished Helldivers 2, and it sounds like even more refinements are already on the way. For now, grab your Liberator, load up your favorite stratagems, and keep spreading managed democracy. I will now spend the rest of the video reading the entire patch notes sped up. If you don't want to look at that, let's get to 11 minutes and 41 seconds. Greetings Helldivers. Release Captain Morris coming to you this Democratic Thursday with an update from High Command. This update focuses on what matters most right now, making Helldivers 2 feel better to play. We've overhauled how we approach patching to better target the pain points you shared with us. That means more focus on stability, balance, and the issues that affect your experience the most. Over 200 bugs have been fixed, along with key balance updates and quality of life improvements. For a deeper look, check out Leonard's and Nicholas's video breakdown. While new features are coming, this patch marks a big step forward both in the game itself and how we work to improve it. More refinements are already underway. Balancing. General changes. Primaries, sidearms, throwables, and stratagems. Improvements have been made to increase the overall effectiveness of primary weapons, sidearms, throwables, and stratagems. Light versus medium penetration weapons. Light and medium penetration weapons now offer more distinct advantages. Light penetration weapons generally deal a higher percentage of their total damage against durable enemies, differentiating them more clearly from medium penetration options. SMGs and pistols. SMGs and pistols have been adjusted to emphasize their role as close quarters weapons. Close range damage has been increased, and damage fall-off has been increased to reinforce their short range combat identity. Melee weapons and throwables. Melee weapons and throwables have been improved to make each feel more impactful and unique in their function. Resupply pack. The resupply pack is not climbable anymore. Primary weapons. SG-8P Punisher Plasma. Damage projectile decreased from 100 to 0. Damage explosion increased from 150 to 225. SG-8S Slugger. Damage increased from 280 to 330. Durable damage increased from 75 to 90. AR-23 Liberator. Damage increased from 80 to 90. Durable damage increased from 15 to 22. AR-23A Liberator Carbine. Damage increased from 80 to 90. Durable damage increased from 15 to 22. AR-23P Liberator Penetrator. Damage increased from 60 to 65. AR-23C Liberator Concussive. Damage increased from 65 to 75. Durable damage increased from 30 to 35. AR-61 Tenderizer. Durable damage increased from 22 to 30. AR-32 Pacifier. Damage increased from 50 to 55. Stun value per projectile increased from 1.5 to 2. SMG-37 Defender. Damage increased from 80 to 100. Durable damage increased from 8 to 18. Drag increased from 0.6 to 1.2. MP-98 Knight. Damage increased from 70 to 90. Durable damage increased from 7 to 18. Drag increased from 0.6 to 1.2. SMG-32 Reprimand. Damage increased from 125 to 135. Drag increased from 0.6 to 1.2. SMG-72 Pummeler. Damage increased from 70 to 85. Durable damage increased from 7 to 18. Stun value per projectile increased from 1.5 to 2. Drag increased from 0.6 to 1.2. LAS-16 Sickle. Damage increased from 55 to 60. Durable damage increased from 5 to 6. MA-5C Assault Rifle. Damage increased from 80 to 90. M7S SMG. Damage increased from 70 to 80. Durable damage increased from 7 to 16. Drag increased from 0.6 to 1.2. STA-11 SMG. Damage increased from 70 to 90. Durable damage increased from 7 to 18. Drag increased from 0.6 to 1.2. PLAS-39 Accelerator Rifle. Extra spare magazines increased from 8 to 12. Ergonomics increased from 40 to 60. Sidearm weapons. DQC-2 Saber. Damage increased from 110 to 125. Durable damage increased from 55 to 65. Combat Hatchet. Damage increased from 110 to 160. Durable damage increased from 55 to 80. Attack speed has been slightly. CQC-42 Machete. Damage increased from 170 to 200. Durable damage increased from 80 to 100. P2 Peacemaker. Damage increased from 85 to 95. Durable damage increased from 25 to 30. Drag increased from 0.6 to 1.2. P19 Redeemer, damage increased from 60 to 70, durable damage increased from 5 to 12, drag increased from 0.6 to 1.2. P1113 Verdict, damage increased from 125 to 135, drag increased from 0.6 to 1.2. M6C/SOCOM, damage increased from 100 to 110, drag increased from 0.6 to 1.2. P92 Warrant, drag decreased from 0.3 to 0, gravity multiplier decreased from 0 to 0.3. Throwable, TED63 Dynamite, damage increased from 700 to 1000, armor penetration increased from medium to heavy, demolition strength increased from 30 to 40, stagger increased from 30 to 40, uses decreased from 4 to 3. G7 Pineapple, shrapnel from main explosion increased from 7 to 18, demolition strength on main explosion increased from 20 to 30, inner radius on shrapnel explosion increased from 1 to 2.5 meters, damage on shrapnel explosion increased from 70 to 100, removed lifetime on the shrapnel from the shrapnel explosion decreased from 6 to 0. G50 Seeker, higher priority for flying enemies, highest target priority for marked target, damage increased from 400 to 500. G6 Frag, uses increased from 5 to 6. G3 Smoke, uses increased from 4 to 5. Throwing Knives, damage increased from 250 to 300, durable damage increased from 100 to 150. Plas 1 Scorcher, plasma projectiles will now pass through foliage without losing velocity. Stratagems, Plas 45 Epoch, duration until explosion increased from 3 to 3.25 seconds. Delayed muzzle charge VFX by 0.5 seconds, so it now appears when the projectile is overcharged, improving visibility of the charge state. Damage on standard projectiles explosion increased from 400 to 500. Demolition strength on overcharged projectile increased from 10 to 30. M105 Stalwart, damage increased from 80 to 90. Durable damage increased from 15 to 22. Flam 40 Flamethrower, canister capacity increased from 130 to 150. Starting containers increased from 2 to 3. Maximum spare canisters increased from 4 to 5. APW1 Anti-Material Rifle, durable damage increased from 180 to 225. Starting magazines increased from 4 to 5. Maximum spare magazines increased from 6 to 8. AC-8 Autocannon, damage increased from 260 to 325. GL52D Escalator, damage increased from 55 to 100. Durable damage increased from 55 to 70. MS-11 Solo Silo, health increased from 800 to 1500. Enemies will no longer attack the silo. Increased demolition strength needed to destroy it. Orbital Rail Cannon Strike, cooldown decreased from 210 seconds to 180 seconds. EXO-45 Patriot Exosuit, missile armor penetration in worse angles increased from 6640 to 6650. Rotary gun ammo capacity increased from 1000 to 1350. Enemies, the goal is to make light and medium armor piercing weapons equally effective against certain common enemies by adjusting their durable damage and durable resistance values. Illuminates, Flesh Mob, targeting the faces deal extra damage to its main health, effectively creating weak spots. Main health decreased from 6000 to 5000. Most health zones are slightly more durable, slightly less vulnerable to fire to balance health decrease. Elevated Overseer, main health decreased from 600 to 450, head health increased from 150 to 200, head zone armor decreased from 3 to 2, torso health decreased from 600 to 450, arms health decreased from 300 to 250, slight increase on how easy it is to set on fire. Leviathan, now equipped with beam-based weaponry. Leviathans will not show up in missions outside of cities. Terminids, Rupture Strain enemies, updated textures for all Rupture Strain enemies for better readability. Rupture Warrior, movement speed when underground has been decreased, needs to surface more often when moving underground. Its burrow attack is slightly slower and leaves more space to be dodged, smaller damage boxes when attacking from below. Front legs armor decreased from 3 to 2. Will prefer to emerge before attacking turrets instead of destroying them from below ground. Rupture Spewer, retune the timing of how fast it starts to act from when it unburrows. Bile Spewer variations, increase size of its mouth weak spot. Brood Commanders, slightly harder to set on fire. Warriors, slightly harder to set on fire. Slight durable increase in head and body. Dragon Roach, spawn rate decreased, 50% lower on difficulty 5 and 6, 40% lower on difficulty 7, 8, 9, 33% lower on difficulty 10. Destruction of its wings results in an instant termination of the dragon. Wings now have their own health pool of 4000. Increase how much damage wings take from explosions. Bile Spewers, slightly harder to set on fire. Larger body parts are slightly more durable. Hive Lord, improved performance during Hive Lord encounters. Automatons, base alarming. Automaton troopers in bases will require better visual confirmation before calling in reinforcements, instead of calling them in immediately. Devastators, slightly harder to be put on fire. Large body parts are slightly more durable. Command Bunker Turret, removed ragdolling from its projectile's explosion. Factory Strider, slightly less vulnerable to fire. War Strider, shoots 2 fewer grenades per salvo, shoots grenades less often. Removed ragdolling from its projectile's explosions. Added weak spots, aim for the eyes and the vents on the back. Scout Striders, armored top shield is more durable. Fixes. Stratagems. Fixed an issue where Helldivers were unable to call down stratagems in the objective area of the Nuke Nursery Cave mission. Fixed an issue where the B-100 portable Hellbomb stratagem, sometimes falling on cave roofs in the Destroy Spore Lung mission. Fixed an issue with the drill objective stratagem sometimes landing in unintended places such as on top of caves in Nuke Nursery Hive World missions. Players can now stay aiming down sights when activating Lift 860 Hover Pack. Crashes. Fixed a rare crash occurring when fighting Illuminates. Fixed a crash when hot joining and readying up before other hot joiners. Fixed a crash occurring when a player would rejoin multiple times. Fixed a rare crash caused by Eagle 1. Fixed a rare bug where the Eagle 1 would never be removed from the game session and eventually cause crashes. Fixed a rare crash bug that could happen when spawning in groups of enemies. Fixed a crash affecting Helldivers trying to lean out from a vehicle. Fixed a crash that could happen when scrolling through the weapon customization menu. Fixed a crash that could happen during game shutdown. Weapons. Fixed armor penetration values in the stats menu for CQC-5 Combat Hatchet, CQC-30 Stun Baton, CQC-19 Stun Lance, CQC-2 Saber, CQC-1 One True Flag, and the G7 Pineapple Grenade. The armor penetration value displayed as medium instead of light. Improved initial bullet alignment while strafing and riding in vehicles. Moved the first-person camera further away from the MS-11 Silo's target designator scope. Fixed the weapon reload animations desyncing when wielding armor passive that give increased reload speed. The FAF-14 Spear can now lock onto automaton anti-air turrets. Fixed projectiles hitting direct center of sights when extremely close to objects. Haptics feedback is now present throughout the firing of the Flam 40 Flamethrower stratagem. Miscellaneous, this is long. Fixed a bug where Hive Lord body parts would not spawn properly. Fixed an instance where the Helldiver couldn't rejoin their previous host if said host left a joined game in progress from the loadout. Fixed a bug where the Lift 182 warp pack would sometimes get stuck suspended in the air or crash. Fixed Adreno defibrillator armor passive animation bug. Fixed disconnection issues when joining a solo player with 3 cross-platform players. Fixed mesh clipping for the arms on some animations. Reduced the chance of the extraction shuttle clipping through terrain. Fixed a flickering bug on the avatar when the Helldiver gets affected by mud or snow. Fixed a bug hole covered by terrain in one of the CR10 mega nests. Rupture warriors can no longer destroy deployable turrets while still underground. Fixed an issue where the front door of the gator could become inaccessible. Fixed a rare issue where the player could be disconnected when they are part of the mixed platform. 3-person lobby that joins a solo player under poor network conditions. Fixed an issue with Illuminate dropships not taking correct damage during the Repel Invasion fleet missions. The currency symbol for Saudi Riyal is now correctly displayed in the in-game shop. The oil rig's reverse audio will no longer continuously play if the player attempts to reverse during oil extraction. Fixed Helldivers going through the floor in the tutorial mission when diving near barbed wires. Fixed a rare soft lock in tutorial. Helldiver is now killed when diving into drill holes during nuke nursery missions. Fixed an issue where Helldivers could enter a vehicle even though the seat got claimed by someone else first. Fixed controller vibrations behaving incorrectly when connecting or disconnecting controllers on PC. Fixed miscellaneous threading issues in the audio system. Fixed minor texture clipping issues in the floor between helper launchers on the ship. Fixed an issue where voice chat could sometimes change volume unexpectedly, particularly when entering caves. Optimizations. Optimized static effects. Optimized physics by only enabling powered ragdolls when needed. Optimized physics body handling for damage calculations. Optimized automaton units and NPC eyes by changing them from particle effects to shaders. Optimized AI behaviors by analyzing and stripping out redundant code. Reduced stuttering during drop-in sequence for missions on Hive worlds. Improved audio I/O performance. Snow distribution and overall look has been reworked. Improved performance by tweaking level of detail settings for characters. Optimized asset distribution for several planet types. Optimized scattered assets such as grass on various planet types. Optimized asset distribution in Hive worlds and terminated caves. Optimized asset setup and geometry for assets used in Hive worlds and terminated caves. Optimized static effect physics and particle systems while maintaining visual feedback and fidelity. Optimized various automaton explosion visual effects. Optimized acid rain effects during acid storm. Optimized dragon roach fire attack visual effects. Made various optimizations to the fire system including particle and light optimization. Improved performance by optimizing the rendering of several shaders. And that is the entirety of the patch list posted on Steam. Might be a little bit different elsewhere, but I think it's going to all mean the same ultimately. Personally, I feel like this is a great move ahead for Arrowhead, especially how they surprised us with releasing it so early than they expected, but it's a pleasant surprise. What do you, fellow Helldivers, think of this update? Do you think this patch is going to bring back all the reputation from the Helldivers by giving buffs to our favorite weapons and by fixing a lot of bugs and improving optimizations? Or do you think that more bugs are going to arise from this and make this game more chaotic? Or hell, even something you think yourself? Maybe other people think like you. Make sure to comment down below, like and subscribe so you can get more videos like these. Thank you for watching.